So right, okay. So this is one for you old boys and the not so old boys and girls and everyone else. So I'm coming to the end of my training blocks really into racing season. First race next weekend. This year's training has been a bit different, partly because I've been a bit sort of like short of time. So it's led to a bit of an experiment really. So I've been doing probably about 6 hours training a week. Now the difference between my normal training and this year's training, this spring's training, this winter and spring, is I've been doing the usual endurance stuff. I've been doing it a little bit more time, so the endurance ride's been a bit longer. Steady zone 2 stuff around the canals, lots of endless pedalling, and I've done them weekly since about December really, mid-December I've been doing them because cyclocross season finished and then it's into training for in sort of like a bit of recovery and then start training. Now what I normally do is I do the endurance stuff and then I'll be doing intervals on the turbo trainer because I'm in a bit short of time and to be honest I don't like doing the intervals. They are quite painful and I find them a bit distressing mentally. So what I've done this year is I've been doing my endurance rides and I've been doing weight training instead. I haven't been going down the gym and doing the weights at home. I've found it reasonably easy to get my head round and do. I bear in mind that I've been carrying an injury for last year that hasn't been going away, a bit tendonitis in my knee. I'm a bit prone to getting back problems and stuff like that, so I've been a bit careful, but it's been going alright actually. The upshot really is, today I'm doing an FTP test. I tend to do them this time of year just to see where my training's at and if I've improved or otherwise from last season. And it's sort of give me a rough idea of how I'm going really. So I'm doing that today, so we might have a bit of video of that. But what I have found is with doing the weight training, I just feel generally better. Things like just stupid stuff like getting up off the floor, you know, when I'm working on the van or something like yesterday, getting up and down is easier. My knee problem is decreased. The physio said it would help doing weight training, and it has. My legs are a bit stronger, I guess, and it's given me more support around the knee. Tendonitis is a lot less. I can now squat pretty much all the way down without really feeling it. I've been doing obviously quite a lot of leg stuff because I'm a cyclist, but I've also been doing upper body. So I've been doing like rows and all that sort of stuff. So things like, I don't know, carrying bags of cat litter out to the van from the shop. It's just like 30 litre bags and just pick up one in each hand and carry them out to the van. Whereas before I'd probably hoiked one onto my shoulder and gone back for the other. Carrying stuff up the stairs, dragging bikes around, all that sort of stuff. I can jump off things now without feeling particularly nervous about it. I did a mountain bike race a couple of 3 weeks ago and I just felt quite strong and quite aggressive, so that was really good from that point of view. Now I've been doing a bit of reading up today as happens on strength training and cycling, and it appears from the research that obviously it does improve things, but actually improves things quite a lot. I don't know whether not doing the intervals is going to have an effect, or whether doing the intervals is kind of like not as good as doing the weight training. In intervals plus endurance, or weight plus endurance. The caveat for today's FTP test is I have got a bit of pollen allergy stuff going on, so I've got a bit of a bad throat and get my excuses. And that's not an excuse, it's kind of like just saying a bit of a bad throat. I don't think I've got a cold. I'm a bit blocked up, my eyes have been scratching and stuff like that. Allergy type stuff. There's a lot of tree pollen around anyway, so I think it's that. I get it every year, so I'm going to see how it goes. Okay, so that's what I'm doing. Next, okay, so the kit you need to do an FTP test, okay, but you obviously need a bike. I've got my bike here, which you'll see in a bit. Now it's got a power meter on the back of this one. You can get power meters on your pedals. You can get crank power meters, all sorts of things. Okay, the one I got on the bike is a hub one. It's quite an old one, but it's the one I've been using for the last quite a long time, and I know it works, and I know that it's reasonably accurate. But for my purposes, I just need a reading. I need an FTP. If I use someone else's, it might give me slightly different reading. I've got another one that's attached to an old turbo trainer. It's quite an old one, and it's very conservative. I don't think it's that accurate, but if that's all you've got, as long as you use the same one consistently, then it's going to give you the results that you need. You do your FTP, your functional threshold power, just to work out your training zones, really. It's really useful. In the big scheme of things, for a lot of us, it doesn't really make much difference, apart from if it's not looking very good, you can always change your training a little bit. But you know where your first race you do of the season, you kind of know where you are anyway. If you're, you sort of flying, or I'm not doing very well, I don't feel very strong on the hills, and you just go do some weights, or you go do some interval training up the hills, whatever it is. Okay, you kind of play a lot this by ear. The other thing you're going to use, the heart rate monitor. They're really cheap. You can do this just with the heart rate monitor. You can use the heart rate to work out your zones, your training zones. It's, we've used these things for a long time. Really good. If you ain't got much money, a heart rate monitor is great. They're really good value for training. The other things you need is you're obviously something to record on, like your Garmin, or I think you can link to a phone or something like that. There's various apps. You need a timer. There's a timer on this phone that I'm going to use. Something to listen to music on, or whatever. If you want to, you can do it with that or with. I'm going to put some music on and listen to some Don Letts from last night or something like that. So yeah, that's quite useful. So when you do this, you want to obviously make sure that the batteries are okay. You want to make sure the batteries are all right in your power meter, your batteries all right in your Garmin, the batteries are all right in your heart rate monitor. All right, so make sure everything's in place. Then you're going to get on your bike and you're going to have your warm up. While you're doing your warm up, you might find that your seat's too low or too high, or your handlebars need raising. Have your Allen keys there, because you want everything to be right when you do this. You sort that out during your warm up. Your warm up is quite a personal thing. Some people have a really structured warm up, which is good. Some people have an unstructured warm up. They just ride for 10-15 minutes and just turn their legs over, have a little bit of a sprint. Right, okay, I'm ready to go. It's up to you. It depends on your personality. It depends on how you operate, really. Some people are really structured, and other people are not so structured. Maybe benefit from being more structured, or the really structured people might be benefit from being a bit more flexible. Whatever, just have a good warm up, 10-15 minutes warm up, maybe a couple of little sprints, get yourself ready, bike set up, timer set up. Okay, so you're going to do your timer, and what you do is you warm up for 10-15 minutes, and then you do, what I'm going to do is 20 minutes. Okay, so I do 20 minutes as hard as I can. So you got to be a bit kind of like aware that you don't want to be going too fast at the start. You have to ride into it a little bit, but then you want to hold your wattage to whatever it is, 220 watts or 230 watts or 300 watts, whatever it might be, and you want to go as hard as you can. The last sort of 3 or 4 minutes, you obviously dig really deep, and then you just go as hard as you can at it. And then you get your average power, and if it's a 20-minute test, it's 95% of that average power. which will give you your FTP roughly. Okay, there are calculators online that you can go to that will calculate it for you, and you've got your heart rate as well, so you've got an idea of your heart rate at that power, and then you use it to base your training zones around. So there's lots of different ones of those as well. There's different people, different coaches have different methods, different organisations have different methods. Choose the one you want to use and then use that. And that's it really. So I'm going to get myself ready, go and get my shorts and my shoes on, have a bit of a warm up, and then we're good to go. Okay, right, brilliant. Not looking forward to it. Right, that's my setup done. I've got the music sorted out, my heart rate monitor's working, my cadence, my power meter's working. I've got it on the right setting on the resistance. I've adjusted my seat, as you can see from the video. Got my Don Letts. I was listening to what I was just listening to. A bit of B-52s to start off with. There's all sorts of stuff on here. Yeah, I'm kind of ready to go in my lovely vest. You'll probably like that, don't you? And I've got slightly more respectable shorts on today. They're not the usual disgusting things I wear when I'm on the turbo trainer, because no one apart from people outside looking through my conservatory window can see me. So I'm going to, well, I'm going to crack on anyway, and I'll let you know how I get on. Well, that was quite an interesting experiment. So I completed the test. I've had my jam sarnie and a cup of tea and a couple of jammy dodgers to recover. The jammy dodgers are the most welcome. So the results, interesting. So basically, my FTP, to all intents and purposes, is the same as last spring's. But the difference is, obviously you're saying I didn't do any interval training, and I haven't. I did one race. I suppose it counts as a sort of cycling session. So lots of zone 2 and weight training, and no intervals, no high intensity intervals like last year. So, but my takeaway really is from that. Even though the weight training works, what I did find is I was really struggling with the effort of keeping the power. It was towards the end. I was at the point of like I nearly give up. It was really hard. So I think the takeaway really for me is do the weights again, do the endurance, but also probably do add a little bit of sweet spot, which is just below your sustainable power really. Sort of kind of time trial effort, just below your time trial effort. So you go really hard but not quite. You can sustain it for an hour or so. So I think that's probably it. But just do shorter ones because as an older athlete, it takes me long to recover, and I've done quite a big block of endurance and weights, and last weekend was the last 35-mile off-road endurance. Right, 35 miles off-road is mad, isn't it? It's canals as well, so it's constant pedalling. The weights, I didn't do anything last week apart from cycle to work and work. I did a bit of tree planting and stuff midweek, but I haven't done any weights, I haven't done any intervals or anything like that. So yeah, the results almost exactly the same as last year by about a watt. My power, watts per kilo, is slightly better because I've lost some weight. I've lost about lost a couple of kilos over last year. So my power to weight's better. It means that I should be able to get up hills better, a little bit. So yeah, we'll see. Anyway, that was interesting. I hope you found it useful. If you want to do, if you're in Walsall and you want to do your own FTP test, I can set it up for you. Just charge you a tenner or something. Right? Okay. Buy me a beer. All right. So yeah, we can do that. We can do that down at the workshop or something if you want. We've done it before actually. Yeah, cool. Right. I don't think I've got anything else to say about that except I've got a race next week. So take it easy now. Take it easy in the next week. I'll just do a few shorter intervals and stuff just to get me legs going. Right. Dinner time. Cheers. That was good.